Why is everything selling off? On the weekend, we noted this megaphone, and every time we've hit the upper channel, what do? We sold off, sold off, sold off. This will be very important because tomorrow we hear from the big man or Jerome Powell. He's going to be providing day one of testimony starting at 10 a.m. And then on Thursday, we have day two. So there's a lot on the docket. This is going to be very important. And it's also important to note that we formed a higher high this week, and we're barely holding on to our lower low. We're holding on to it by 16 cents. Why is that so important? Well, because support is support until it's not. So if we do form a daily lower low tomorrow and we take out this low, we're going to form a bearish engulfing candle. Has the word bearish in it. That is bad. We don't like bearish engulfing candles. We can also note on QQQ, we see that same pattern where hit the top, sell off, hit the top, sell off. And here we have a lower high and a lower low. But as of right now, it is a failed breakdown. I would also note that Bitcoin had a new all-time high today. It went all the way here to 69,324 or made it $300 over the previous high of 69,000. But as of right now, it is a failed breakout. Why? Because we're below last week's high of 64,100. I'm pretty impressed with these Bitcoin bulls, though. I'm not going to lie. Look at the range on today. They sold it off very hard, but we did make a new all-time high on the first attempt to make it to roughly 69,000. And we have a failed breakdown, but it's a bearish engulfing candle. Oh my goodness, this market looks like it's starting to get choppy. Yes, it is. Oh, we were at 71 a minute ago. All right, well, we were at 78 yesterday or extreme greed. We've now downgraded here to greed. What does this mean? It means we're starting to lose a bit of momentum. I believe, again, keyword here being I believe, that people are starting to rotate into Jerome Powell talking tomorrow. And I'll tell you the reason why. Well, what's not working? Well, what hasn't worked so far this year? That would be the big guys like Apple and Tesla, which have very specific news about them. We talked about Apple yesterday. Sorry, we talked about Tesla yesterday. Well, today we're hearing that Apple's woes are deepening. I think this one's from today, March 4th. Apple iPhone woes in China deepen with a 24% sales plunge. It looks like there was one company coming after them. I think it was Huawei. I don't think maybe that's the one. I can't remember. But anyways, now we note that the two guys who have been the darlings of last year, Apple and Tesla, they're selling off like pretty hard. They're down pretty hard. If you guys don't mind, please smashing a thumbs up or consider subscribing to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. But what we're also noticing is that the leaders of so far this year, let's go back to remind ourselves who those are. Microsoft, NVIDIA, Meta, Amazon, right? EVGO. Well, those ones are taking a pretty big hit today too, right? Red, 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 red. And this is not looking good because if we just look at Apple, again, the second biggest stock in the entire market, whoa, this thing's getting pretty weak pretty fast. Monster dead cat bounce and all the way down. This 182, 183 number is very important. If we look here to a 12-month chart, that basically means that we've now fallen back below. Let me just make it a little bit easier to look at here. Let's go to the monthly 12-month chart. Let's go to candles so they're fuller because I know it's a little bit hard to look at home. Anyways, what did we do? We fell below the 2021 and the 2022 high. Uh-oh. Yeah, this doesn't look good. The second biggest stock in the world is starting to soften. If we look here to Microsoft, it's still in a blue sky territory, but I believe, yeah, on the monthly here, we have a failed breakout last month, and now we have an inside bar. So I would argue that we're still like very bullish. Blue skies are bullish, but I see some rotation happening into Jerome tomorrow. I'll remind you of exactly what that means, but first let me show you the evidence. So we're right on support, and I say, is it time to sell stocks? Well, ironically, right when we're on strong support is when people want to sell. So here we know we're on the daily uptrend. Well, of course, people are going to be getting scared. We could fall down to the 50 DMA. And if that happens, you have to be prepared for it. I'll also leave you with a nugget of gold at the end in regards to how to manage your positions and how to think about stocks right now, because I did share a group with our private group. And if you want to know more about that, you can go to thealgo.com to trade with Justin from YouTube. All right, anyways, so once QQQ lost that daily uptrend, well, it opened up and it gapping crapped, right? Just sell it. It has 2 full days in a row. And if we get a third one, that usually means a corrective wave is coming. There's a corrective wave. Here's a corrective wave. Where's the last corrective wave after that? We got 3 in a row right here. Then we got 3 in a row over here. And we talked about this last week. So if we do see 3 full candles in a row, well, it means the market's softening. All right, let's move forward because we want to talk about talk about what actually went up today. Well, TLT went up because yields went down. Okay, so that's up by 1.4%. XLF, ironically, is up by 1 cent. It's green. It's barely there, but it's green. XLE, or energy, up by about 0.75% today. We can also note that IAK, or regional banks, are also up. And KRE, likely due to New York Community Bank. Let's actually have a look. That one's up a lot. That one's up by 4% today. So NYCB, what is it doing? It's up 18%. So KRE, which likely has a heavier weighting on that one, is up. So financials are, here's the interesting part. I'm noticing a theme. Financials are up. Okay. Insurance is up. That's also finance. Regional banks up. Regional banks up. Interesting. What does that likely mean? That people are looking for the mark and the yields are down. So people are probably expecting that Jerome's going to say, hey guys, I'm ready to realize that there's a dual mandate. And if I keep tightening too tight, which is what he's doing right now, eventually you're not able to breathe, right? That's the market too. The market needs to breathe, needs to let its hair down. All right, well, we'll see whether or not this took enough out of the bubble, and we'll find out tomorrow at 10 a.m. Just before that, we're going to hear from the Bank of Canada as their key interest rate's going to come into focus. We're expecting a pause. Then we have the ECB coming out on Thursday. And then this big data point I talked about here, this second most important data point for the week, that is really the one that I'm paying so close attention to. I also mentioned that I would like to see a sell-off into the first half of the week. Well, true to form, we came down within 20 cents of testing this low. It can get awfully scary when we get close, when we get close, when we get close. But if the low holds, meaning we don't form a daily lower low tomorrow, that means that S&P maintains its weekly higher low, which means it's going up. And QQQ is going to maintain a weekly failed breakdown. All right, now let's go through. We talked about the fear and greed. We talked about the economic data. ISM came out a little bit soft today. We'll just skip that for now because we care more about Powell tomorrow. All right, so we talked about what is working and what is not working. But now I want to leave you with a note because we did also talk about this on the weekend. But again, by being in the group, what you also get is you get my guided direction during the day. So until we see a lower low, we have to assume that dips are for buying. And until we see a lower low, we're seeing continued strength. But what I want to focus on is this. I want to focus on and watch the video at the very end if you want to see more, because we talked about this. We fell below 511. We also talked about this on the pre-market show. I would encourage you to tune into those if you want more context. I'm live at 9 a.m. Monday to Thursday. We fell back below 511 at the open, which means we fell back into a yellow light. What does that mean? Foot over the gas, over the brake, off the gas, over the brake. We're not stopping out yet. But anything you are buying right now, you need to be prepared, in my opinion, to hold on all the way down to 483. So what does that mean? I bought some stocks yesterday. I am not prepared to buy more now and then be excited to buy even more at 483. What does that mean? Hey, let's see what Jerome Powell does tomorrow. Let's see what that feedback is. Do we hold the lows like we just talked about? And the weekend deep dive should now be here. You can tune into that if you want more context. If not, I wish you all the best of luck tomorrow. And if you want to come trade with me, you know where to do that now, theelgo.com. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.